Hi everyone, I'm Lisa. Welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. It's really not getting cold here in Florida, but I decided to dress up for the occasion because where you're at, it probably is. I'm thinking today is probably low 80s, gorgeous with tons of sunshine, but my card is reminiscent of cold weather because I could not resist sharing this adorable penguin and igloo card with you. Remember that all the supplies are listed on my blog as well as any cutting dimensions and things you need to know. And don't forget that I offer exclusive rewards for your online orders. Head over to my blog and also check out my stamps in the mail and my project PDF tutorials. Come on over to the stamp table and let's get chilly. Here's your close-up. Isn't this adorable? I cannot take credit for this design. This came from Pam Loris. She was the original person that I found that created this card layout, but it was so cute and it was so popular when I shared it that I want to teach it to you today. So let's begin. You're going to use a half sheet of Whisper White cardstock. This measures 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to go ahead and fold that in half with my bone folder. I like that crisp edge that provides. And then we're going to do some background stamping. I'm using the Soft Sky ink pad. This is the snowflake image from the stamp set called Snow Place. As a matter of fact, we're using the entire set for this card today. The beauty about this is that every image has a coordinating framelit. Now you're going to miss the penguin because I have it pulled out to show you, but there's no fussy cutting here. You got to love that. That is available in the holiday catalog as a bundle, and you can save 15% by buying them together because you know you're going to want them together. Who wants to fussy cut all those pieces? So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp some snowflakes on here just randomly. And I'm going to let some hang off the edges because I want to create more of a wallpaper type of look. So there we've got our snowflakes. Then I'm using a piece of scrap Whisper White cardstock, and this is from the Circles Framelits collection. I'm calling this Circle Framelit number 7, with number 1 being the smallest in the middle. That's the size this one is. And I'm going to put this on my Big Shot magnetic platform and cut this out. So here's my Big Shot. And I'm going to put the clear mat on the bottom and my cardstock and my framelit and then another clear mat over the top. And then all we're going to do is simply just crank this through. That's going to leave us this circle. The next step that we're going to do here is we're going to texturize this to make it look more like an igloo. So this is the brick wall embossing folder, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick that right inside of here, and this time I'm going to use my Big Shot again, but to emboss. This is the multi-purpose platform. We're using tab 1, clear mat on the bottom, your embossing folder, and then clear mat on the top. The great thing about this embossing folder is actually the mortar on one side is textured up, the other side it goes in. I want to use the inside on this. So here is the extra large oval punch, and this is going to give us that igloo opening. So I'm going to slide it in here, and I'm going to create just a little negative area here for my igloo. I'm going to take my paper snips, and I'm going to cut this straight so that it looks more like an opening. And I'm actually going to cut this off as well so that we have a straight edge. Now, doesn't that more resemble an igloo now? Going back to my Soft Sky ink pad, and I'm using a wedge of sponge, and I'm going to sponge the edges of this white piece. I am going to mount this on the base of the white card, and I was concerned that they would like blend together too much and you wouldn't be able to see it. So this is just going to highlight this image just a little bit. Okay, so that's going to end up going here on our card, and again, more white area, so I wanted to sponge some more. So I'm loading up my sponge, and I'm starting here, and I'm rubbing ink in this area just to kind of give it a platform, if you would, for my penguin and for my igloo. And you don't have to be, purposeful about it. Just kind of rub some ink on there. So I'm going to add dimensionals to the back. So I'm going to put a couple here and a couple here just so that's tacked down really well. I'm removing the paper backing from the back of the dimensionals, and that is going to go here on my card. Now let's work on the penguin. Isn't he stinking cute? I'm going to use my basic black archival ink pad for this. So there we have our penguin. I'm using the pumpkin pie marker, and I'm going to color in his beak, and of course his little cute little webbed feet. And remember what I told you at the beginning of the video, no fussy cutting. Look at that. Got a perfect framelit for this. bringing my Big Shot back in, magnetic platform. And I will tell you, you're probably thinking, why didn't you just do all that in the first place? Do all the magnetic platform stuff? Yeah, you should. But because you're watching me, we're doing just a step at a time. So I'm going to put this on here. The magnetic platform allows you perfect placement of your framelit, covering it up with a clear sheet. And then we are going to crank this little guy through. This says there's snow place like home, and I'm going to stamp that here near the bottom. Last step, let's add a few more dimensionals to the back of our penguin. And he's going to get mounted here near his igloo. And that is all done. Isn't that adorable? Here's today's, and here's my original. Remember to check out my online classes tab on my blog. You're going to find some really awesome PDF tutorials and stamps in the mail there. And as always, thank you for shopping in my online store so I can give you rewards. Have a great day, everyone. See you next time.